Answer me this. Why do we always say yes when we want to say no? Why do we take on more than we have capacity for? Why do we show up based on how we think others want to see us instead of showing up as our most authentic selves? As my Aunt Shirley would say, honey, it's mashugana. You need to stop. And as I would say, you need to have some boundaries. All right, so today we are talking about the B word, not that one, boundaries. Welcome to the New CEO podcast. I'm Natalie. I am an organizational psychologist and executive coach who helps purpose-driven leaders create greater impact, revenue, and work-life alignment. So why are boundaries so effing hard for us as women leaders? Well, because most of us were raised to be good little girls, to never say no or disagree or make a fuss or make it about you, to put the needs of the other person or the group or the client first, especially if you grew up in business and management consulting like me. Client comes first, even if you're having a panic attack on the bathroom floor. Hypothetically speaking, of course. So now, as women, as partners, as wives, as moms, as female founders and executives, we're used to attuning ourselves to the needs and desires of others. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing all the time, unless we have no boundaries. And then if we don't have boundaries, we consistently find ourselves giving too much, only to find that we are exhausted, depleted, and upset at ourselves for betraying ourselves once again. Does this resonate for you at all? Probably so. Most women I work with have an issue with boundaries. If this is you, you probably already know this, but we need boundaries. Boundaries honor our needs. They define the roles that we play in every area of our lives. They teach others how to treat us, and they prevent burnout and resentment. So if you need some help setting boundaries, it's your lucky day. We're going to give you some ideas on where to start. 3 ideas. All right, the first is to start by recognizing your feelings. We talk a lot about feelings on this podcast. We're all up in our feelings on this podcast, and that's okay because your feelings are important. So what I want you to do is when you do that thing that you always do, when you behave a certain way or when you work with that person that you said you weren't going to work with anymore, how does it make you feel? So for example, if every time you meet with one of your clients, you find yourself giving away services for free or staying late or doing extra when they're not paying you to do extra, and then you feel angry at yourself afterward, this is a clue that you need a boundary. So feelings like guilt, anger, resentment, and overwhelm often signal the need for a boundary. You may not know what you're feeling though. Oftentimes people just feel like, ugh. And so tapping into your feelings may require you to get really quiet and to listen to what your body and your heart are trying to tell you. Yes, we're talking about meditation again, probably on every podcast because it's that big of a game changer. So the more you ask yourself how you feel, the better you will become at listening to what deeply resonates with you, and the more quickly you can reinforce your boundaries in the future, because you will more quickly recognize the behavior, the people, the relationships, the projects, the tasks that are not aligned with your core values. Which brings us to number 2. The second thing you want to do is to start setting more boundaries is to re-examine your core values and uncover the beliefs that have stemmed from those core values. So when we're operating outside of our core values and what we believe to be true, it's incredibly uncomfortable and causes cognitive dissonance. So here's a little exercise. You want to start by identifying a core value that you have around your work as a leader. And then what are the beliefs that have stemmed from that core value? So the first thing that comes to mind is the perfect place to start. I did this exercise to illustrate this for you. So for me, the first thing that came to mind is, as a core value around work, is that, well, you got to work hard. Leaders work hard, right? So the core value is hard work, and the belief that stemmed from that is that leaders should work hard. Okay. So then you're going to ask yourself these 5 questions based on that core value and belief. So the first, who did you learn this from? For me, I learned this from my parents. My dad worked really hard as a corporate IT executive, and my mom is an immigrant who always taught us that we needed to work hard for what we wanted. Okay. then you want to ask yourself, is the core value in alignment with the life, career, and business that I want to lead? For me, when I ask myself that question, kind of, but not really. When I started my own business, I did so with the intention of working smarter, not harder, and with the belief that I could be even more successful if I allowed things to be easy. Okay, so the next question you want to ask, and don't worry, we're going to give you all of these questions written out for you. Do the beliefs that come from that value support you or keep you stuck? They keep me stuck, working too late and wearing myself down. Okay, the next question, is the core value you identified still true? And if not, what is your new core value? No, that working hard, that leaders must work hard thing is not true for me anymore. My new core value is to work smarter, not harder. Okay, and then the last question, what would you believe instead to support you and align with your true or new core value? That work should be easy and fun. All right, so we're going to give you those questions, but it's a chance for you to reevaluate your core values and the beliefs that are stemming from those core values. Then, lastly, as you go about your work in your life, start catching yourself in the act when you're slipping on a boundary. If you find yourself going back to your old ways, forgive yourself, remember your core values or your new core values and beliefs, and reinforce them in a way that feels good for you. So using the example that I gave you about me, when I start working until midnight and then I'm feeling like, oh, work is so hard, why does it have to feel this way? And I'm reliving my old story and that old narrative, I catch myself, forgive myself, and then ensure that things feel easy and fun around my work the next day. So we're going to add these questions below so that you can easily come back to them. And we hope this serves you. If this topic resonates for you, I hope you'll join me and my co-host, Mindy Belanger, who will be joining me in just a minute to dive deeper into this topic. Thanks.